In this video today, I'll show you who is this DORA Internal Auditor course intended for, how it is structured, how to choose a training provider, and also how to prepare for this course. And I'll also show you which lessons are included in Advisera's free DORA Internal Auditor course. DORA Internal Auditor course is intended for internal auditors because this DORA, the cybersecurity regulation, requires in its Article 6 that financial entities have to perform regular internal audits of their ICT risk management framework, and that this has to be performed by internal auditors who possess enough skills and knowledge. And getting the certificate from this internal auditor course proves that a person is really qualified for being DORA internal auditor. Since there is a lot of knowledge that you have to acquire, this internal auditor course usually lasts between 2 and 3 days. And it is different from other DORA courses because besides having lessons around the DORA itself, it also needs to have lessons that teach you how to perform internal audits. Typically for this DORA Internal Auditor course, you would have lessons and an exam. And here I'm showing you this course from Advisera where you have these online lessons which are free. Actually, you can go through all the videos for free. And there is also this exam that you can go for if this is what you're aiming at. Now let's see how the course is structured. Let's see the curriculum. Okay, so as you can see, there are 10 modules in total, out of which the first 6 modules are basically around the explanation of DORA, and modules 7 to 10 are explaining you how to perform internal audit. So let's see very briefly how these first 6 modules look like. Introduction to DORA. As you can see, it presents you some basic concepts about DORA itself. Module 2, it goes into depth of how you actually govern, how you manage cybersecurity, also how you deal with risk management. In Module 3, it goes more into depth of how you organize these cybersecurity measures. As you can see here, you have network security, identity management, access control, these kind of things. In Module 4, you see an overview of how to handle incidents, vulnerabilities, and so on. In Module 5, there is this business continuity and resilience, including top-level policy, business impact analysis, backup, crisis management, threat-led penetration testing, and so on. Whereas in this last module that explains DORA is about how you handle third-party ICT risk. In other words, how you handle supply chain. Okay, and then you have these 4 modules about internal audit. So here you see an explanation of the differences between internal and external audit, what is the main purpose of internal audit. Then you will see some best practices and requirements from ISO standards, since DORA does not specify anything on how to perform internal audit. Criteria on how to select internal audit, what are the audit findings, what are non-conformities, observations, major and minor non-conformities. And then module 8 is around how to organize an audit, how to write the internal audit procedure, how to write this annual audit program, and how to write plans for each individual audit. And then in module 9, you learn about what are the main elements during the internal audit, mainly how to perform a document review, how to create an internal audit checklist, how to write a report, how to write these corrective action requests, and what is the follow-up. And finally, in the module 10, you learn about how to perform the main part of the audit. You start with these audit assumptions, techniques for finding evidence, how you sample the records, how you record all the evidence, what are the interviewing techniques, how you perform audits remotely, and how you audit integrated management systems if this financial organization is already compliant with some other standards. And basically this is how this curriculum looks like. This is how this internal auditor course is organized. Now, of course, different training providers might have a slightly different approach, but basically they should all have a very similar structure where they first teach you around the basics of DORA, and also in the second part they teach you around the techniques of performing an audit. You might have a dilemma whether to go for online or a classroom type course. And in fact, there are 3 types of courses. So classroom type course where you have to go to a physical location and then listen to the instructor during these 2 or 3 days, or live online course where you actually connect to the instructor-led course that is delivered through Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And pre-recorded online course where you actually watch pre-recorded videos for a particular topic. Now, this classroom type course is probably the best choice if you can dedicate 2 or 3 days off from your work, and if there is a course provider near you. This live online course is a great choice if you're in the same time zone as the course provider, and again, if you can dedicate enough time to go for this course. And this pre-recorded online course is the best choice if you cannot take a couple of days off and if you have, let's say, 1 or 2 hours per day to dedicate to this type of a learning. When deciding which course provider to choose, no matter which of these 3 types of course modes you decided upon, you have 3 criteria to choose between course providers. The first one is reputation. So basically, how do the other students mark this course provider, and in general, how is this course provider popular? The second one is quality. So how good is this course instructor in presenting you the whole material, and if you can really understand the whole course material in an easy way. And the third one is accreditation. So accreditation basically means that an independent body has verified that this course provider produces high quality courses. And it doesn't really matter which accreditation the course provider has, as long as there is an accreditation. Most course providers do not require you to prepare for this DORA Internal Auditor course, but I would suggest that you at least read through the text of DORA and also related regulatory technical standards, and also that you read some articles around the main requirements from DORA, and also articles around internal auditing, if not about DORA, then at least around cybersecurity or perhaps ISO 27001. And you can find links in the description below to full text of DORA and these other RTSs, as well as to a couple of articles. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and in the description below you'll find the link to this DORA Internal Auditor course that I was showing you, and you can go through all course videos for free, and you would need to pay only if you go for the course exam. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss any of my new videos. And I publish videos every week. Thanks for watching.